What is up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing amazing, and today's video is meant to answer the question that a lot of fitness rookies have, and that is, which is better, weights or calisthenics? Now, a quick heads up, whilst I have done both weightlifting and calisthenics, my page is all about calisthenics, but I will still make sure to tell the absolute truth about both sides. But besides that, I also want to make clear why I personally chose for calisthenics, so there will also be a couple of my opinions that I want to emphasize as well. The only attributes for weightlifting that we really have are these dumbbells, but you get the point. Now, I'm gonna jump straight to the conclusion of the video, and that is that one is not more superior than the other. But that doesn't mean that one cannot be more superior for you personally. So my goal is to inform you guys on both sides so you can make a more educated choice for yourself. But also remember, why limit yourself to one of the two? Let's dive deeper into what each has to offer. Now, I'll start off with the thing that most people base their decision off of, and that is, of course, building muscle and strength. Now, in order to build muscle, you need to overload them, and that is easiest done with weights than it is with calisthenics for multiple reasons. The first one being that applying progressive overload is a lot easier to weights than it is to calisthenics because you just incrementally increase the weight as your strength improves. Progressive overload in calisthenics is definitely possible as well. You have to do this through changing the angle, the leverages, the positioning, the variations, and so on. And as I'm naming all of the different ways, you can see that the answer is not as straightforward as or measurable as it is with just adding an extra weight onto the bar. For some people, that can be quite a tedious and more intimidating thing. Me personally, I do enjoy being able to figure all of that stuff out, but I can understand when that people just want to look for a more systematic way to increase muscle size in a more steady and linear progression. Besides that, it is almost impossible with calisthenics to really focus on one specific muscle group, as it consists of mainly compound movements, which means that you have to use a lot of body parts simultaneously.
So if you're looking to increase the size of one specific muscle group, or if you are recovering from an injury, for example, weights are definitely your way to go.
So based off of just building pure strength, weights are probably your best option, but there are also a lot of other aspects that should matter to you as well, so hear me out. One being the variety in your workouts, to make it fun as well and to keep doing it. And I do think that calisthenics does take the cake here, as there are a lot more exercises in calisthenics and you can branch out so much more than you can in weightlifting. But that could also be considered as a downside to calisthenics because it's a lot harder to progress. You need to constantly adapt, learn new techniques, practice a lot, and also fail a lot. And that can be quite discouraging and frustrating for a lot of people, and it just takes a lot of patience. But I feel like once you do progress, in my opinion, it feels a lot more rewarding than it does by adding an extra weight. And besides that, I don't think we really need to argue that calisthenics is a lot more functional than weightlifting. It gives you better endurance, flexibility, body awareness, balance, and it's just all about relative strength, and that is the kind of strength that you will most likely use the most throughout the day. And I'd like to touch a bit more on the endurance part of calisthenics as it is related to burning calories, which for a lot of beginners is very important as well if they want to lose weight, for example. The calorie burning efficiency is directly related to the amount of oxygen that is utilized during the activity. Hence, for aerobic exercises like HIIT workout in calisthenics or running, for example, will sustain an elevated heart rate way better than anaerobic exercises like weightlifting, for example. And then a huge benefit of calisthenics is that you can do it practically anywhere at any time. And for the people that might have some social anxiety, as a beginner, it can be quite intimidating to walk into a gym. It may sound ridiculous, but I do think a lot of people struggle with that. And especially as a beginner, you don't need a lot of equipment, so it is also relatively cheap to start with. A big disadvantage of calisthenics is that it is really hard to start because it heavily depends on, your own body structure. Because, your body weight is what you have to work with, and yes, there are easier progressions that you can start with, but it can be really hard to figure out, and especially as a beginner, you do not want to get started with that. And with weights, you can always start with the lowest weight possible and just build your way up from that, so it's a lot easier. That is also what a lot of people tend to do. They start with weights, and once they get stronger and gain some muscle or lose some weight, they then move over to calisthenics. And whilst I said that it is a lot harder to apply progressive overload to calisthenics, you can make it easier by just adding some weight to your calisthenics. Besides the practical stuff, there's also the mental stuff. You know, you gotta just, at the end of the day, do the one that makes sure that you return the next day and the day after and so on. So just do whatever sounds the most appealing to you. Is that weightlifting or doing push-ups, pull-ups, and muscle-ups, etc.? There's also no reason for you to not try both, whether that be combining them in one workout or alternating, because trust me when I say it's a totally different feeling being able to bench 350 kilograms 350 pounds, or being able to do a push-up while standing upside down. So for the people just starting out, I recommend trying both and just see what fits you the best. And to help you with that, I have a free 1-week calisthenics program for absolute beginners to try out. So if you need some guidance, the link will be down below. All right, and that is the end of this video. I am sure that there are a lot more arguments out there, both for weightlifting and calisthenics. And if you have any of them, let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear them. I also want to learn, you know. If you found this video somewhat informative, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. And then I hope I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.